Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 645, we're going to talk about Glenn, the Voice of Calm. Now, this is from the Walking Dead Secret Lair, and there was a lot of hullabaloo about it, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to talk about the deck. They are Commander legal, they're legends, therefore I am building them. Anyway, for 3 mana, we get a 1/3 human advisor. Advisor and humans we could both work with, but it's not going to matter for this deck. Skulk. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Of course, it's a 1/3, so, that kind of works. Whenever Glenn deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to his power. So, number 1, we've got to get Glenn to deal combat damage. And then 2, I would like to increase his power to draw more cards, obviously. Now, that wasn't enough to fill up a deck, so I went in another direction, but let's go with this first. First, of course, we have our mana rep section, the Soul Ring, Sky Diamond, Marble Diamond, Commander Sphere, the Clue Stone, and the Burnished Heart. Now, that's not a lot, but it's what we've got. Now, card draw. Our commander has card draw, but we're digging. We're looking for something. Brainstorm, Portent, Impulse, Frantic Search. Supreme Will more than likely is going to be used for the Impulse ability, and then Stroke of Genius. But here is... Okay, so drawing that many cards, or we're looking to draw that many cards. So, of course, we're using the Thought Vessel, Reliquary Tower, and the Library of Ling, because we got to have no max hand size, right? I mean, we just got to. But let's make Glenn better. Better at combat. We have Aquacious Form, just flat out can't be blocked. And, Scry 1 when it attacks, so that's not bad. Wonder. Give it flying for the free, right? Kind of free. It's got to be in the graveyard. A little bit of equipment, Grafted War Gear, Hero's Blade, Bone Splitter just because it's so nuts, and then the Imperial Plate, which is about the perfect card for this deck. It's going to make Glenn bigger, which is going to draw more cards, which is going to make Glenn bigger. And that's exactly what I'm here for. Righteous Authority is pretty sweet. It's a personal Howling Mine, and it makes the creature +1 for each card in your hand. So this is perfect. 5 mana, it's one of the more expensive cards in the deck. We do have, the Unquestioned Authority and the Spirit Mantle to give it pro creature so it cannot be blocked. Faith's Unbroken is a decent removal / pump on Sarah's Wings, and just good old-fashioned Divine Transformation. Cloak of Mist. Enchanted creature's unblockable. And then, of course, the one-shot use of Shadow Rift, drawing the card and making Glenn unblockable. Because not many people run Shadow. I threw a Lavinia in there for no apparent reason. I'll be honest with you, just to keep those ramp decks from, busting out the gate before we can do our thing. But now, that's where I landed, and I have been looking for a deck for a while to feature Solemnity in. And I've got it in other decks, don't get me wrong. But I wanted a Solemnity deck. And with that much card draw that we've got from Glenn, that could get us there. Also, Solemnity costs 3. So we can transmute Drift of Phantasms for it. So this is a Solemnity tutor, as is Idyllic Tutor is a Solemnity tutor. And just on the off chance that somebody nukes our Solemnity, Of course, we have the Monk Idealist to get it back, Tragic Poet, and, Recall. Recall, if you've never played it, it looks like it is crazy expensive, but most time you're only getting one card, so you're discarding one card and paying 3 mana. So, now Solemnity combos question mark. Phyrexian Unlife will keep you from dying. Because you can't get infect counters. Therefore, you don't lose the game as long as the Unlife is in play. Unstable Mutation. You put this on Glenn, raises the power. It's a permanent giant growth. It can't get the -1 counters. Perfect, right? Land Cap is a duel that's a whole lot of. It's just a regular duel if you can't put depletion counters on it. We have Delaying Shield. If you would be dealt damage, put that many delay counters on Delaying Shield instead. Instead indicates a replacement effect. So you cannot take the damage and not put counters on there. Whoa. Illusionary Terrain. Now this one is kind of more of a Brian Canada pick, I'll admit. The way cumulative upkeep works is you put an age counter on the permanent during your upkeep and then pay the cumulative upkeep cost per age counter. Well, we can't get counters. So you can hose one basic land type to another land type. So you can find out what what basic land your opponents have the most of and, make friends that way. A Decree of Silence, yes. I mean, this is whenever an opponent plays a spell, you counter that spell and don't put a counter on this. Therefore, you never have to sack it when Solemnity's in play. So you can play spells, opponents cannot. Ever. Yeah. It's it is a wombo combo from way back. It's been around forever, as long as Solemnity has. But typically, once that happens, the game devolves into arch enemy, and you become the target. But also, counters can't be put on Dark Depths. So I like Merit Lage. But now let's look at removal, and there is a ton of it. Some of it's not so much removal as... now, we don't have a whole lot of creatures, obviously. So we need a way to take care of creatures, preferably in mass. We have a citywide bust. Phyrexian Rebirth, Slash the Ranks, End Hostilities, Urza's Ruinous Blast. Urza's Ruinous Blast kind of favorite, Exiles. Nahiri's Binding is... I think this is a great card. That activated abilities line is great, and it's enchant creature or walker, so Generous Gift. And Afterlife, you don't see destroy target creature on too many white cards. Pongify. We got the 2 vows, Duty and Flight. Into the Royal. Now, you're returning permanents here, and with Into the Royal and Runaway Together, this is as much to protect our creature, our Glenn, as anything else, right? But that being said, Counterspell's a great Magic card. I mean, just no two ways about it. Counterspell, negate, mana leak. Intervene really helps if somebody's targeting Glenn. Dovin's Veto, Blue Elemental Blast. I know it's very specific being red, but there's a lot of red cards out there. Keep in mind, multicolor cards are red by default if they have a red mana symbol in the cost. So, Disenchant and Illumination, which I know a lot of people are kind of hazy on elimination, but let's face it, it's not a whole lot different than some white cards. It's just it counters the artifact or enchantment instead of just taking it out of play. Mm. Now let's look at our non-basic lands. We have Evolving Wilds, Rupture Spire, Terramorphic Expanse, Command Tower, Hollowed Fountain, Temple of the False God. Rogue's Passage is a necessity here because, got to get Glenn in there doing damage. Tranquil Cove and Azorius Guildgate. And that's Glenn. I kind of like the how the card drawing aspect of him, how one side of the deck leads into the other side. I really, really, because that's what Solemnity needs, and you've got all the counter spells to protect your combo and whatnot. I'm still absolutely, I have boxes of cards everywhere, but we're going to put 645 up on the wall. That was done. Going to try to keep the decks going because, they're not slowing down printing them. So, but I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And, boy, this was rather quick today. 11 minutes we went through that deck. But it is time to shuffle and cut.